Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Portsmouth School Committee meeting of Tuesday, May 24th. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? And I'd ask that we have a moment of silence for Robb Elementary School in Texas today, which was the scene of a pretty horrible shooting. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Prior to the public session, we had an executive session. No votes were taken. May I have a motion, please, to seal the executive session minutes of May 24th?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Unanimous, 7-0. Please let the record reflect that all school committee members are present. We're also live on Zoom and YouTube for those of you who are joining us virtually. In case of emergency, if you're present in the room, we have 2 exit doors in front and 1 back here on the side, and we will meet over at the school administration building. So it's the end of the year, lots of school events. And one of the nice things about being on the school committee is you get invited to them, even if you don't have kids that are participating in that. And one of the ones last week was the PHS Film Festival, which I know Ms. Kelly attended. Would you like to report out on that, please?
So Mr. Vadney, Ms. Copeland, and I were honored to attend the Portsmouth High School Film Festival last week. It featured work produced by the CTE students in both 2021 and 2022, since they were unable to have the festival last year. I wanted to extend my congratulations to Dr. Vaspel and the students for such a wonderful showing, and thank you for including us. It was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed being there.
Thank you. And I think the students all really enjoyed it too, because they had students in the audience as well. And then there was the Thespian Induction Society and the CELAC Awards. And I think Ms. McDade was representing the school committee on that.
Thank you, Dr. Copeland. This really is one of the best parts of this job. But last week I was able to go to the induction of the International Thespian Society, which is a society with a very long history in the area of the dramatic arts. And 13 high school students were inducted into the society, and they also honored kids who had done additional work. And it was really clear how much hard work went into the theatrical productions that were done this year. But also, even more than that, the sense of camaraderie and support that the kids had for each other. And then the next night, we had the CELAC Awards, and Mr. Vadney and I were both there for that. And that's really an opportunity. Several people that night said it's the best night of the school year, and I have to agree. It's an extraordinary evening, and it's an opportunity to really celebrate the progress that's been made by these extraordinary kids throughout the district, and to really honor the people who were able to assist them in making that progress. So parents and staff members were able to honor other staff members, including bus drivers and aides, as well as teachers, therapists. And it's always just a really moving night to see the impact that all of these people are having in these kids' lives and what these kids are able to achieve with that help.
Thank you. And then I think the following evening, they had the Modern Language Honor Society induction. Deputy Superintendent Viveros was there, Mr. Vadney and myself. And here they were celebrating those students who have really, really put in a lot of extra effort in Portuguese, Spanish, and French. And they gave some scholarships, and they inducted them into the National Honor Societies. And So very, very, very nicely organized by the teachers at the high school there. So congratulations to them and the students who worked really hard on that as well. Did I miss anything? I think I know you probably have more in your updates. Okay. So again, thank you to the high school for inviting us, and I know we all really appreciate it. Moving on to subcommittee updates, district building committee met. One item, business B, is on the agenda for the school committee consideration tonight. That's approving the architect contract. I would say the things that that I think the community needs to be aware of, and the school committee and the various schools, is the discussions on the bathrooms are starting and kind of the layout. And there's some very creative drawings that were presented by Studio Jade, and they will be putting together a very brief PowerPoint that I think we'll be able to circulate on the website and put out to the schools, just to start getting some feedback from people and getting an idea of what some of these new bathrooms will look like. So stay tuned for that. And then there were just otherwise the general updates. But the main thing is, and I think this will be in the superintendent's updates and maybe summer programs as well, all the schools except for the middle school will be closed this summer because we'll be doing some of the remediation work as part of the bond. So, and the field, right? Moving on, negotiation subcommittee, Mr. Vadney.
The negotiations subcommittee met with NEA Portsmouth and Council 94 yesterday.
Thank you. If you're not aware, negotiations are confidential until they're concluded. So good report. Moving on to the equity subcommittee, Mr. Payero.
I wish my updates were that easy. So the equity subcommittee met today at 4:30. We reviewed our equity plans for the district, received updates from the individual schools, and then also started talking about planning for next year. And our next meeting is going to be tentatively scheduled for Thursday, October 20th.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment? Ms. Carroll, can you see? I don't think there was. Thank you. Moving. Oh, yeah. Oh, if you have public comment, please. I'm sorry. Yes, you need to state your name and address for the record. Is there a pen there? And then you can sign that up later. So everybody's allowed public comment. And if you haven't done it before, we can't respond because it's on the agenda, but welcome. Sorry, you just have to push the button on the right there.
Joseph Aguiar, 14 Weedemo. I'm speaking about the equity. What is, it was kind of a brief.
Because I can't officially respond to you.
Thank you. And while we're not able to respond to public comments, we can point to people maybe to a former agenda where this was on the presentation was linked to the agenda item when they gave a presentation. Any other public comment? No online, no hands raised. Nobody on Zoom anyway. YouTube can't do anything. Okay. And we don't have our PHS liaisons here tonight either. So it's a busy time for Portsmouth students. And we do have here two certificates of recognition to our two representatives that made the commitment to come to meetings throughout the year and give updates on the high school. I think Dr. Kenworthy will be presenting an award on Senior Awards Night but maybe if they're there or not, but I mean, I'm just saying if they're there, we can give them there. No, I mean, I don't know if they know, but I'm just saying maybe you could take those with you in case they're there. That's what I was going to say. Okay, superintendent's update. Dr. Kenworthy.
Thank you. First up, any personnel updates since our last meeting? So we do have a number of resignations. This is the time of year where employees, for different reasons, either moving or they're getting a new position. So I have accepted the resignations of the following individuals over the last couple of weeks: Alexandra Dottie, school nurse teacher at Hathaway; Jennifer Morad, an RBT at Melville; Stacy Prater, speech language pathologist at Hathaway; Jenny Campbell, one of our nursing assistants at Melville; Jennifer Sidewind, another nursing assistant at Hathaway; and Jenna Sicaranza, a science teacher at Portsmouth Middle School. So we are also in the midst of our hiring process for next year. So those positions, have all gone into that process. And I also approved 2 leaves of absence. These will both be for the entire year, next school year. In accordance with the NEA Portsmouth contract: Stacy Delecta, a special educator at Melville, and Ashley Falgren, kindergarten teacher at Melville. Again, we'll look to fill their positions for next year. On to district updates since our last meeting. We have been starting each meeting this year still with just a update on COVID-19, anything to report. So we have our updated case count. We are seeing an uptick in cases as we are throughout the entire state and our region right now. So last week, 4 of the 5 Rhode Island counties were moved into high transmission under the revised CDC guidelines. So we've been operating under a new CDC guidelines since about the February-March timeframe. So currently Newport County is the only exception, which we are in here in Portsmouth. Rhode Island Department of Health and Rhode Island Department of Education officials are just encouraging school leaders to, continue to, communicate information with their communities, which we have been throughout the year. I always, anytime there's anything that needs to be updated, we send that out through the district. Particularly, so this will go out with updates from this meeting. There is a document with just tools for prevention to revisit for everyone. Currently we're in a time frame of cases increasing, just to kind of remind everyone of the best strategies for prevention. So I will continue to monitor the situation, and right now, the only districts that I know of that have moved back towards reinstituting masking on a either temporary basis or for the remainder of the school year are Central Falls and Providence. And they were dealing with, they were the last 2 to remove the mask because of just the high community transmission in those areas. So we'll continue to monitor that situation. Regarding district events, in addition to all the things that were previously mentioned, last Friday morning, we were able to make the surprise announcements for our 2022 Portsmouth School Department Educator of the Year winners. They both happened to be at Portsmouth High School, so it made the logistics a little easier. So we surprised Mr. Kevin Riley, who's a video production teacher, longtime veteran staff member there, and also Miss Carol Farrow, also veteran staff member on the Council 94 side. She's an RBT. So they are our Educator of the Year winners for this year. We'll continue to recognize them, and then usually on our opening orientation day for staff, we do a recognition there at that kickoff as well. And then later that afternoon on Friday, I was able to attend what's become an annual event at Portsmouth High School, the college signing ceremony, where this year 10 of our senior student athletes officially signed their letters of intent to further their athletic careers at the collegiate level. So that's in the years I've been here, that's the most we've had. So that's great to see that number increasing. There are quite a few people who turned out on Friday afternoon. It was great to see. And then just a reminder, senior awards night will be taking place this Thursday evening at the Portsmouth High School Fieldhouse beginning at 6:30. And seniors are moving into their end of year activities. So next week, we've got the two big ones, senior prom and then graduation on next Friday at the Portsmouth High School complex. Lastly, just wanted to update on the Portsmouth High School principal search process. So at this point, what we would consider first and second round interviews have taken place. I want to thank Dr. Viveros, members of the Portsmouth High School School Improvement Team who constituted the initial interview round, and any individual who completed the feedback survey that we had put out for members of the Portsmouth High School community that helped to inform the process. So I'm currently in discussions with two finalist candidates and trying to stay on track to be able to have a final selection to present to you at our next meeting on June 7th. So.
Thank you very much.
Was that senseless? Okay, and yes, since everything's a blur at this point, but I guess it would have come after our last meeting. So we did have Victoria Travis, special educator at Hathaway, was a recent NBC 10 Golden Apple Award winner. So it's always great they come out and surprise those individuals as well.
Thank you. Nice visuals, Heather. Nice to have you back.
Apparently she was missed at the last meeting.
We enjoy those. Those add to the updates. And now moving on to presentations on the 2022 summer programs. Deputy Superintendent Viveros, I believe.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So tonight I'm going to be reviewing the upcoming summer programs that our district's currently planning for. Before I get started, it really is important, and Dr. Copeland actually already mentioned this, to note that our first phase of our bond work is starting this summer. And because of that, all but the middle school is not accessible to our teachers. So we've really had to sit and have conversations in the high school field house. And really reassess some of the programs that we were looking to roll out with some of our funding. So as I go through this, some of the conversations now that I'm having is to be able to, and we can extend those funds to the 2023 summer as well. So depending on what we can and cannot do, we'll extend some of those funds. All right, so this is just a quick overview of the summer programs that we're going to be providing. Our ESSER 2 grant is going to be funding intervention and acceleration opportunities for our K-12 students. We'll be providing extended school year services for qualifying students, summer school services for high school students needing credit recovery, and we're also going to be providing our middle school students with an opportunity to participate in our Ag Innovation Program at the farm. So I'll just now give you a quick overview of each of those. So with our ESSER 2 summer programming, at the elementary level, we're looking to provide students with Tier 3 reading and math interventions, readers theater, and art enrichment. Pending the building availability at the end of the summer, we're hoping to provide some of our incoming K students with like a K ramp up to really boost them and prepare them for kindergarten, but we really do need their actual classrooms to be able to provide that experience for them. At the middle school level, we're looking to provide various interventions and acceleration opportunities in all of the disciplines. And at the high school level, we're planning for an Algebra 1 ramp up, level 1 language study for those students who took language in 8th grade and just need a little bit of support to be able to start right into the level 2 course in 9th grade. And like last year, we're also going to be providing some SAT prep courses in both math and ELA. So with our extended school year services, we're going to be providing students who require specialized instruction throughout the summer in the areas of reading, writing, math, and related services. We'll have 3 different types of programs running out of the middle school, a 5-day program for our students in life skills, a 3-day program for our preschool students, along with various walk-in services for students who require speech, OT, PT. Our extended school year program is staffed with a coordinator, special ed teachers at all levels. We've got paraprofessionals, school nurses, speech pathologists, OT, and PT. All right, next up we have high school. So our high school summer school program is going to be using Edgenuity courseware, which is the current credit recovery program that we use within the school year as well. Our program is going to be staffed with content-specific teachers who provide students with support and some direct instruction in the areas that they need to be recovered. This year, our program will run from July 5th through July 28th. And typically it's 4 days a week and 2 hours plus, depending on the students and the level of needs. And the last program that we're going to be discussing is our so really exciting, through the support of the Van Buren family and the grant that we were given, we're going to be providing middle school students with an opportunity to spend parts of their summer at the Ag Innovation Farm. And they're going to be helping maintain the farm, harvesting crops, and they're going to be doing all sorts of really innovative projects, engineering programs, bird watching, working with small animals, working in the high tunnel greenhouse that they have now, and doing some fishing experiences. So more details on that program and all of the other programs will be following in the next few weeks. Fishing, yes,
So,
fishing, exciting.
so we're, maybe you could elaborate a little bit. This all sounds great.
Sure.
How would parents find out, sign up, commit? You
Yep,
know,
so-
are there costs involved?
So
All of that.
there are no costs involved at all. And in the next week or 2, we're going to be getting all of that information. For the students requiring intervention services, those conversations are already happening with families. Lisa is already having conversations with. Go for it.
Yeah, so for extended school year, that's ongoing. The process begins in February, and currently teams are wrapping up IEP meetings. And from there, we will begin to generate letters to families that will go out to them with all of the information, regarding whichever program their child is going to.
And at the high school level, when final grades, then we'll know the students that need the credit recovery.
And we'll post it on the website
Oh, yeah,
as
all
well.
that
So it'll be
information, sure.
available for
Yep.
people. So stay tuned. Excellent. Other questions? Great.
Great,
Looks
thank you.
exciting. I wish we had all of our schools open.
I know, I really do too.
Yeah, yeah. I guess this will be for our next meeting, but I noticed with the credit recovery, do we know or have a sense of high school graduation rate? Is it? We don't know
I don't
yet?
have that information yet.
And yeah, nothing that we heard that it's gonna be any different,
Yeah.
than any other year.
Great. Okay, may I have a motion for the approval of school committee minutes, please?
I move for the approval of the school committee meeting minutes of May 10th and the executive session meeting minutes of May 10th.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. Motion for the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. Business item A, please.
I move for discussion and action on budget transfers over $5,000.
Second.
Mr. Diro?
Yes, thank you. So tonight we're asking for a budget transfer in the amount of $108,000 into the technology-related hardware object to purchase interactive TVs and network licensing.
Any questions? No? And this is all part of the broader tech plan.
This is all included in the tech plan.
Great. All in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. Business B, please.
I move for discussion and action on stage 3 and 4 architectural contract award.
Second.
Mr. Dr. Kenworthy or Mr.
Defer
Duro?
to Mr. Duro on this one as well.
Mr. Duro?
Sure. So you may remember back, I think it was late February, early March, the committee made a tentative contract award to Studio Jade for the stage 3 and stage 4 work that's to be done in our capital projects, the $21.4 million bond. Since then, we have been working with them in our OPM Peregrine and negotiating fees. And tonight, I am asking you to make a final award of that contract. Total cost for all of the stage 3 and stage 4 work, which will take us through December of 2024, is $1,446,331.
Thank you.
Included within the bond cost.
All of this covered
All
from
of
the
that
bond
covered
cost.
through the bond, included and covered by the bond itself.
Excellent.
I move for approval.
Second.
Seeing no further questions, all in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. Business C, please.
I move for discussion and action on the first student contract regarding bus monitors.
Second.
Mr. Duro?
Sure. So this, we're asking you tonight to approve an amendment with our current transportation contract with First Student. As you know, currently the district employs part-time bus monitors through the district itself, who then ride on First Student buses. We're looking to outsource those services to First Student so that they would provide bus monitor services so that the drivers and monitors would both be employed by the same company. This is a very, very typical arrangement throughout the state. And we're asking you to approve this contract, which would allow us to do that for the next beginning of the next school year.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. Ms. McDade, Business D, please.
I move for discussion and action of the policy on athletic coaches. It's policy GCA.
Second.
Ms. McDade?
This is our final read. We had this policy at our last meeting and there have been no changes since then.
We actually have to vote on this one. Okay.
That's-
Seeing no further comments, calling the vote, all in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. Business E, please, Ms. McDade.
I move for discussion and action of to remove the crisis intervention policy, which is old policy 3610, and replace it with the threat assessment team policy, ADDA. And again, this is our final read.
Second.
Okay, so no changes in the
Again,
meantime?
no changes. and
Yep.
We're ready to vote on it.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous, 7-0. And thank you to the policy subcommittee for their work in keeping a lot of those current. I'd like to receive the April financial report. Mr. Duro.
So you have the year-to-date April 2022 financial report. We have 2 months left to go. And it looks like we're trending slightly favorable to budget for the full year.
Yep. You start seeing all of the lines at 100% when I was scrolling through there. So
Yes, there's many like that.
that's good. Okay. Any questions? We don't vote on this, just any clarifications? Great. So we do have, and this is maybe to high school seniors, remember, we do have a tentative school committee meeting scheduled for June 2nd in case there's any problems at the prom, which we take very seriously, which means that, problems may mean students don't walk in graduation. So we really don't want that to happen. We want everybody to have a very safe, very fun prom. And hopefully we will not need this meeting on June 2nd. But if we do need it, Dr. Kenworthy will let us know. And our next regularly scheduled meeting is June 7th here at the town hall.
And then we don't have on here, but June 15th, our reminder is the town financial meeting, which will be at Portsmouth Middle School this year.
And that's a joint meeting with the town and schools. All right. May I have a motion for adjournment, please?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous, 7-0. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.